Come on in and join us, guys, while we do an acrylic blank badge reel tutorial.
We're going to be using our Bride of Frankenstein badge reel acrylic blank with the matching pre-cut decal. Now, like I mentioned, these are $1.35 on our site, and you can get crystal clear or 11 different color options.
Ready? Well then, let's get started. Make sure to check us out at thirddegreelaser.com.
Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is decide which side is the front and the back of your acrylic blank. So my best option is to put it on top like this. You're going to go ahead and look through the white paper. It's see-through once you hold it up to a light source. So you're going to have a light source coming from behind, and then you'll be able to tell if it is just lined up on there perfect or if you need to flip it over and try the other side. Okay, so this is the front of our acrylic blank. We're gonna go ahead and flip it over, and we're gonna be working on the back side first. So let's go ahead and take that brown paper off. I'm just using what is called a weeding pen. Instead of a pen down here, it's got like a little needle. And we're gonna go ahead and pull that brown paper off of the back of our acrylic blank. Perfect. And now we're gonna grab a little cup to mix our UV resin and glitter mixture in. And today we're gonna be using this beautiful, like tealy green glitter. So nice, I love the color of this. And then we're gonna be using some UV resin from our friends over at Resin Rockers. Now, this is a 2-inch acrylic blank, so I generally say that whatever the size is almost always what the UV resin you're gonna need. So I use about 2 milliliters, which almost just barely covers the bottom of the cup here. It's not very much at all. And then we're gonna dump some of this beautiful glitter into it. Perfect, and let's go ahead and give that a little stir with our silicone stir stick. Here is what it's looking like. Okay, and we're gonna dump that right onto our acrylic blank here. We don't have to dump it all. We can dump a little bit or all of it, whatever you're comfortable with. I usually do about 50% or so, and then I'll go ahead and start to spread that out. And if I need more, that's totally fine. I just remind you to put it into that larger area of your blank. You don't wanna put it near the edge where it can go over. So putting it in the larger area gives you the ability to pull from the center there and spread out as much as you want or as little as you want. Now, when you get to the point where you're like, I still need a little bit more, you can scoop out some more and put it right in that larger area again. So always adding it to that biggest area of the blank that you can. That way you are in control of it. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, and now once you have it on there, I do always recommend that you go right around the edges. Sometimes that seems to be where the glitter pulls away or the UV resin pulls away. We don't need to be too worried about the back side here as far as bubbles or any little small imperfections go, because we're gonna be covering majority of the back of this with a badge reel, so you're not gonna see like any little lumps or bumps. Okay, we're gonna put the acrylic blank, the stick, and the cup under our UV light here for 2 minutes, guys. Oh, might help if I turned it on. Make sure to turn your light on and turn it up to whatever temperature you want. I like to use 36 watts for 2 minutes. Okay, let's take a look and see how it looks. Our 2 minutes are up, and we can take a look. The first thing we're gonna talk about is our little cup here. If you wanna clean it out and use it again and again, you could just give it a little squeeze, and it's gonna pop all of those little items out. And if you just go and push your finger kind of to the bottom of the cup, you'll be able to pull the whole thing out. And we can use this cup again on our next project. Even if there's little pieces in here that are still stuck, you can just kind of get behind your nail and grab them out. So we will use that on our next project. Now the same concept goes for our little silicone stir stick here. We just put our nail right behind a layer and kind of peel it off like a little snake skin, and our stick will be clean and ready to use on our next project. Okay, let's go ahead and take the brown paper off the opposite side so that we can take a look and see how it's looking. I like it. Look, so nice. I love the color, the glossy coat. Okay, let's go ahead and add on our pre-printed decal. We've got our decal here, and I'm gonna grab some of our transfer tape. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the transfer tape down and go ahead and give it a nice little rub. Pull back the transfer tape and your decal will pull back with it. Now we're just gonna take the decal and line it up onto our acrylic blank here. Gently pushing it down, making sure it has a nice adhesion to your blank. And then you can pull back your transfer tape. Let's have a look. So cute. All right on front here, we're gonna go ahead and add a clear coat of UV resin. We're just gonna add it right on top in the middle, again in that largest area, a small little dollop of it, and then we can go ahead and use our silicone stir stick to spread it out to the edges. Pulling from that center area and pushing it out ever so gently into those more delicate areas. Now I want to remind you that a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a very thick coat of this at all. We're just gently trying to cover it. So don't feel like it needs to be this big domed coat. Okay, now once you have it all spread out, again, I will remind you to go right around the edges. Sometimes it pulls away, sometimes we miss it, it's fine. Perfect. Okay, let's put some heat to it. Now, what you'll see is that there are some little bubbles that are maybe underneath the surface of your UV resin. Now, you can give it a couple minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, and it will pop on its own, or you can go ahead and give it a little bit of heat to pop those bubbles. I want to remind you that this is flammable, so use with caution. Very little heat goes a long way, guys. So we're gonna light it up here and briefly right across the blank, and that is it. I will remind you that I like to wait about 10 to 20 seconds to either give it a second pass if you still have bubbles, or to put it underneath that UV lamp. We want to make sure it is not still popping bubbles, and then we're curing it. That's how you're going to end up with a little divot in your finished project. Now I'm going to take one last look at it from this side and make sure there's nothing that I missed. I can see this little area here is a little lacking. I'm just making sure everything looks perfect. I think it looks great. We're gonna put the blank as well as the stick under our UV lamp here for 2 more minutes, guys. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take it out and let's have a look at how she is looking. We're gonna take that little bit of dried UV resin off the end of our stick here. Just peels right off. Let's take a look at how she turned out. Ooh, so glossy. Here is the back. Ooh, she is a beaut. All right, let's talk about adding it onto a badge reel. I'm gonna show you a couple different items we're gonna need. We're gonna need some scissors. We're going to need a pick tool or a needle of some sort. We're gonna need a little clamp like this. We also need a physical badge reel, like this. We're gonna need some beads we want to add onto it, which I didn't pick out any beads for this one, so let's look in our little drawer here real quick. I'm thinking, oh yes, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna do this rhinestone like greeny bead, and this one says the word queen on it, which I think is so perfect for the little Bride of Frankenstein. I think that's all we're going to need. Oh, we need our little badge needle. I think that's everything. Okay, let's get started. We're gonna add those beads onto our badge reel. So first things first, we're gonna take our badge reel and we're gonna pull out some string to work with and use our little clamp to clamp it so that it doesn't go back into, well, like that, into our badge reel. You want to make sure this part is really on there. Once we cut off this little end cap here, if the string goes back in, unfortunately, we won't be able to retrieve it and we'll have to throw it away. So be mindful that it's really on there good and the string's not going anywhere. Now we can cut off the end cap right here. And we're gonna use that little pick tool to push the black string that is left in there all the way down into the end cap. So give it a good push, 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 push. Turn it sideways. And then where this triangle goes into the end cap, you'll be able to stick your little needle or pick tool and scoop out that black string that you pushed down into there. Now, if you're having problems, know that this part does take a little bit of patience. And then you can always go back and push it down a little bit farther. Maybe it hasn't pushed down quite into the bottom as much as you need it to, and then just scoop it out. If you just have a little bit of patience, this is the best way to go about getting it out. Next up, we're gonna take our bead needle here and we're gonna string the thread through it. And we're gonna add on our beads. I think I'm gonna put the queen bead on first, followed by our little rhinestone bead. Now, once you have both of those beads on, we can go ahead and add on our end cap here. Just put the needle through the bottom of the end cap and pull it out through the top. There we go, guys. Pull your needle right through. Now, the last step is we're going to tie a knot at the end of our string here. We want to land it close to the end, but you know, it doesn't have to be all the way at the end. And once you've got one knot, we're gonna tie a second knot. This second knot, we want to land on top of the first knot or right next to it. We're just trying to build up a chunkier knot. This one landed a little bit far away, so I'm gonna put a third knot in it and try to get it a little bit closer. The main thing about getting the knot chunky is that we don't wanna leave it too small. Otherwise, it might pull out on our customer, and we definitely don't want that to happen. Okay, now that you have your knot in there, you can go ahead and pull it into the end cap here. Just pop it in once and then pull it twice to get past this little triangle. And if you have a little bit of the black string hanging out, that's fine. Just go ahead and grab your scissors and cut that off. Okay, this little bit here we can toss right into the trash. Last step, you're gonna go ahead and release the string back into your badge reel. Now, before you do that, I do recommend that you hold on to the string. You don't want it to like whip around and these beads hit you or something, so hold on to your string, remove the clamp, and gently let the beads back in. Look at that, so perfect. Okay, next up, we're gonna attach our badge reel to the badge, as well as I picked out this little white badge button from our website, a little white pearl one. We're gonna add that onto the little button down here. Now I'm just gonna use a little bit of UV resin to adhere them. However, if you would like, you can always use E6000, super glue, whatever kind of adhesive you would like. I'm also gonna be using a little UV flashlight to kind of quickly cure them so that they don't move around on me. This flashlight part is kind of a choice. You don't have to have it. I just find that it makes life a little easier so that my product doesn't slide around when I go to put it under my UV lamp. I don't think I put any UV resin on there. I don't think any came out. There it is. All right, and then we're just gonna drop this little button right on top. We have all these little badge buttons in the accessories section on our website, and we're just gonna use the UV flashlight to quickly cure it so it doesn't move around. Now, I leave it for about 10 to 20 seconds, not very long at all. Again, I'm not trying to fully cure it, just make it so it doesn't move around. We're gonna do the same up here, a small dollop of UV resin. And then we're gonna take our blank and move it in circular motions to spread that UV resin out behind it. And then we're gonna line it up so that it is straight on our blank here and hit it with that UV flashlight for a couple seconds. Okay, now that we have it slowly cured on there, not fully cured, but just a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and put it under our UV lamp here. I'm gonna do 60 seconds on this side, and then once that 60 seconds is up, we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna go ahead and do the other side for an additional 60 seconds. All right, our 60 seconds is up on the back side. We can go ahead and close it up, and let's take a look at our finished project, guys. How stinking cute did she turn out? I love the little beads, the white badge button down here. So cute and perfect on the back as well. Guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching us. If you would like to check out our other videos, we have tons of videos on alcohol inks, UV resin, badge reels, and keychains. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. Bye!